Hello children, so in previous class we have discussed about 18th chapter, the ideas of human right and need for right to information to fight for the corruption and how that movement was begun. So up to this topic we have discussed in the previous class. So now today we are going to discuss about the provisions under the RTI. So first of all, what is the meaning of provisions here? Whatever the action may be, the action of providing or supplying something for use. It may be for people use or whatever it may be, but the action of providing something or supplying something for the use of people is known as what? Provisions. So under the RTI, RTI is nothing but right to information. So let us read about some of the provisions which have given under this right to information, and we will see how it empowers to the people. So the law prescribes that for any individual person they can get the documents from the government, like government orders and reports, advices, rules and regulations, the attendance list or letters, etc. So like these things, any documents, any individual, they will get, so that any individual who wishes to get the information, then what they, if they want to know any information, then what they have to do, they may have to pay a small amount that will meet the expenses like making a copy of the document. So some amount, only some amount, if we want to information, any information, so we need to pay small amount. And why we are paying that small amount? Because they'll send the copy, they'll give the copy for, so for that copy the expenses we need, so this money, some amount of money we will pay. But if the person who is asking for the information is below poverty line, then he or she may be, they no need to pay the amount. Below poverty line people will be there, no, the poor people. So that people, if they want to know any information, then they no need to pay the any amount. So above poverty line people who are there, if they want to know any information, then they need to pay some amount of money in the form of expenses. So law also prescribes, or law also says that in every government office there should be an officer and in charge to respond to these questions. So what our government is saying, what our laws are saying, in every government office there should be one officer, like the people who are going to there, who are questioning, to give response to that questions, definitely a officer should be, one officer should be in the government office. So the he or she may be woman or male, maybe, so he or she may be is known as what? Information officer. So in government office, whoever gives the information, so that officer is known as what? The information officer. So above the information officer there is an another individual appellate authority who is expected to make sure that due actions in taken. So before going near to that officer, the information officer, before them there is an another individual authority is there. So the people will go there and they'll expect to take any action for that. So further after that, the state and central government level there should be independent information commissions are also there. Again, our law also prescribes that how much time each department may take to provide the information requested. So our law also says that what? One office, one government department, how if we want any information, then within how much time the department will take to provide such information to us, which we have requested to them. So it will make sure that department don't withhold the information a very long period. The department will try to give the information very soon. So in the case of information is not provided in the limited time, then what will happen? The person who need information, they can complain at the higher officer and then register case on the at the state or central information commission. So for example, I'll say you that if I want to know any information, I have went near the government information officer. So before government information officer, there is another authority. So there we can go and we can say, we will see that they'll take the action or not. So after that we have state and central government commissions also. So there will be, I have requested to say some particular information, but there is a limited time. We have to see that that department with how many how much time it will take to provide such information to us. So for example, if it is not responding properly, if it is not giving information to us properly, then we can complain on them. We can complain to the state and central information commissions, and also we can make case on them, and we can complain to the higher officers also. So these under the RTI Act, the Right to Information Act, it is compulsory for every government office to declare certain information in public even without being asked by the people. So according to this RTI Act, for every government office, it is compulsory the people to know what they are doing. So the people coming and asking to the in the government offices to particular information, right? So the people, if they ask or don't ask also, it is a duty of government office to provide complete information to the people, and you can identify them on the walls of these office buildings also. Or if you have any access to internet, then you will find the most government department websites also provide the information about the basic aspects of their instruments under the RTI column. So that's why nowadays we can see that on the walls of the government office they will write, they'll keep one form. It is, what is that? It is a information only. Again, now so many websites are there. So the government websites regarding to the RTI, they'll keep whatever the information may be, they'll keep publicly. So anyone can open, anyone can browse, and anyone can know the information about what they want to know. So we can visit any government offices directly, or any websites we can see. We can note them, like in the website the complete we will have a link. If you open the link, then complete information will be there. So here one program is there, it is Jan Sunwai. So the MKSS is nothing but the Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan. So this MKSS, it is used to conduct some of the meetings. It is that meetings only called as what? The Jan Sunwai. It means, what is the meaning of Jan Sunwai? Jan means people, Sunwai means listening, hearing. So the people's hearing. It is true that many of the people, they cannot read the government documents themselves, because in villages most of the people, they are not educated. So that it is true, we all know that many of the people, they cannot able to read the government documents themselves. But every person in the village, they would like to know what are the documents say. In the village, if we see, they won't able to read, but they will always try to know that what are the documents saying here. So that thus these were read out and explained. So a muster roll would give names of people for whom wages were paid for making a hand pump. So it means the muster roll, it will give some of the names of the people who are getting the wages for making what? For making a hand pump. So the villagers who are there, they can identify very easily that people are mentioned in the muster roll, that people are present in the during those days or were migrants, or if they were paid the amount stated in the document. So it means it can bring what here? It can bring the corrupt in the practices. So through these events, through these programs, people brought in necessary action here. So the government officials, they were also given one of the opportunity they have given the opportunity to the people to defend and talk about the details which are given in the document. So through this program they can do this. So the district administration and the panchayat officials who are there, they will also participate in these meetings. So when corruption was identified, if the corruption is identified, then the criminal cases will registered against the concerned person. So what is this program actually is? This is the program, it will conduct the meetings in the villages. So in the villages the people will go for work, no, like doing the hand pumps. So if the people here, villages, they are not educated, so that they won't able to know what they have written in the documents, but they want to know. So what they will do? They will read out, they will explain out. So after listening, the villagers will identify that the people who are getting the wages, that people are done that work or not. So they'll identify, and other officials, government officials, their village panchayats officials, administration officials, all the people will present in the meetings. Then if any person is identified like corrupted or identified by doing some wrong thing, then the people will do the criminal cases, make register on them against the persons who have done the wrong thing. Rights approach to improve the living conditions of the people. So in the previous chapter we have studied about right to food and right to employment. Right to food they have to get. So through the ration shops the government is providing the food, isn't it? And right to employment, everyone should get the employment opportunities. So there has been a people, they are struggling from many years to achieve this. The poor people, they are struggling to achieve the food and to achieve the employment opportunities. So those who argue for the rights perspective point out that these rights help people to live with the dignity. So the government has provided the particular rights to the people, like rights to the food, rights to education, right to information. So all these rights, it will helpful to the people a lot here. So it is not just a question of the governments being kind to the poor by the providing them with opportunities of labor, and they are providing access to food at reasonable rates so that their living conditions can be do better. So the governments, what they are doing, they are keeping this rights, and the government is also very kind to the poor people, because it is providing food also to the poor people, and it is providing opportunities to labor to do some work, and it is also providing the food for the reasonable prices only through the ration shops. Why the government is doing all this? To make the living conditions better of the poor people. So by these the poor people, they can improve their life. It also enhances that the health and welfare of the entire society. So by this, not only the poor people can improve their life, but it also increases the health and welfare of the complete society of our country. So yet now it is true in the case of social audit of MNREGA, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So it is, you read about in the previous chapter, right, about this, that this is a scheme for the poor people the government has provided. So these the citizens need to be active in the monitoring in the performance of the government system regularly. So just as the elected representatives do. So how the elected representative political people will do, they are always active in doing such things. So in the same way in our country, all the citizens should be careful. They should be always active about the government conditions. So they need to perform in all the things, and they need to improve their right of children to free and compulsory education. RTE is nothing but Right to Education Act 2009. So this act came in the year of 2009. So you have read about the freedom movement and about the moderates like Gopalakrishna Gokhale, and we have read previously. So this Gokhale in 1911, what he have done, he have demanded from the British colonial government that what he have demanded, that they make a law for free and compulsory education for all the children of the country. So the Gopalakrishna Gokhale, he have demanded in the year of 1911 to the British government to provide education for all the children in the country. Of course, the British government did not agree. At that time, the British government, it is not in the favor of us, right? So, of course, at that time, the British government, it did not agreed here. But unfortunately, this laws was not passed even after the attainment of freedom also. So after getting the freedom also, like this law, it did not pass it. So finally in the year of 2002 in the parliament, it is recognized education as a fundamental right. It means what is a fundamental rights? For every people to show that all the people are equal. So that's why we have the fundamental rights, right? Right to equality, right to freedom, right to education. So that the government have recognized that education is also a fundamental right. So after that, the 86th amendment of our constitution, it has made our education as the fundamental rights, and the bill was passed in the year 2002. So the 86th amendment say that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all the children between the ages of 6 and 14 through a law that it may determine. So this 86th amendment, what it will say? That in state every children should get free education in the age between the age of 6th to 14th age. So at last finally this law was passed in the year of 2009, and it is called what? Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. So the RTE, the Right to Education law, it is declares that the children of the age of 6 to 14 years, that children, they have complete right for education, and every state should construct the sufficient schools in all neighborhoods, and they have to keep all the teachers, appoint properly a good qualified teachers, and make all necessary provisions to provide the quality education to the students. So it also declares that the education is must for every children to make all round development. and not only education, but they have to get the learning through activities, discovery and exploration in a child friendly manner. So it also states that children should be taught in their mother tongue and they should be free of fear. So what the law has said, that the children should be taught in their mother languages and they are free of fear, and the trauma and anxiety, they be able to express their views very freely. In case of neighborhood schools are not available, for example, if the schools are not available, in case sufficient number of teachers are also not available in the schools, or sufficient teaching learning materials are not available, or if the child is beaten by the teacher or forced to study in unfriendly manner like beating, torturing, some teachers will do the thing. So in this way and such like this happen, then the children can complain about them to the courts, against to the authorities, against to the teachers and the against to the schools. So by these, your 18th chapter, the rights approach to the development has finished. In next class, we will start with the new chapter.